Curious about everything. Mr. Curiosity.
Hi, folks. It's the world's greatest podcast in the entire galaxy, I'll even say.
Wow.
The entire galaxy?
Someone's a little full of himself.
It's not my podcast. It's everybody's.
Literally is your podcast.
I don't see it that way. All right. Joe Snedeker here in Mr. Curiosity Podcast, Brownbag Monday edition with Kerry Kearns, John Meyer, and Elizabeth Worthington. No Mindy Y.
She's getting
She's having a root canal
right now.
She would rather get a root canal than hang out with you.
I don't know if
How does
that's
that
true.
feel?
I don't know if
No.
that's But no, so Kerry Kearns, do you know about the bell? Yeah, you did this before. All right, because
I ring it.
if it gets uncomfortable, ring it. We have you as a special guest because how do we say this delicately without getting anyone in trouble? You were here at WNEP for how many years?
10 years.
10 years. You have a history in local television. You also worked where?
I moved to Idaho.
No, I'm talking about before WNEP.
Oh, before plenty of TV stations. I worked at WBRE. I worked in Baltimore.
There you go. So we're setting this background of yours up. And then here comes 2020. And you're like,
21.
yeah, but you started getting those urges.
During the pandemic.
Yeah, during
Just
the
like
pandemic.
lots of people, right?
A lot of
Yeah.
people, yeah.
Wanting to try something different.
So then in 2021, she says, that's it. Pick us up.
So in 2021, I decided to follow my passion of animal welfare and moved out west to Idaho, of all places, to work at an animal shelter.
Which
out
is
there.
why I have a cowboy hat on for you today.
Yes, and that's why I have cowboy boots on. So
Yeah.
we're twinning.
But here's what I don't get. I do get. But that's that's not like even an overlap profession. You know what I mean? How do you go TV? You're thespian, you're actress, you're producer, you're on air, you're taste test girl. And then all of a sudden you say, I'm going to Idaho.
Well, I was doing the 16 to the rescue segment. I
know,
spearheaded
okay, right,
that.
right,
so
right.
it got me into that passion for helping animals. So
But why not Pittsburgh? Why not Buffalo?
I wanted to go somewhere I've never been before.
Idaho.
I went to Idaho. It's beautiful.
And are you guys with me? Out of all the states, I see I see Idaho as like the forgettable state. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Montana, I'll throw that in
random.
there. Yeah, I'll throw Montana
It's a
in
random
there
state. Yeah, but I tell you what, I think that's why a lot of celebrities flock to Idaho because people think, who goes there?
too. Yeah.
And I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis has a home there. Tom Hanks has a home there. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Now, did you pick Idaho because of the organization that you liked that organization there specifically, or you just picked Idaho first?
Honestly, I was just looking for jobs and that popped up.
Oh, okay.
And
So you weren't seeking Idaho.
No, I just wanted to see what was out there. Just kind of closed my eyes and went online and found it. And it kind of happened.
How many of us have been out west? I have been all through that
I've
area.
driven through Idaho.
Yeah, me too.
Going from Salt Lake City to
Right.
Wyoming
Okay.
and the Yellowstone National Park. And it is beautiful.
Yes.
It's a
I
beautiful
bet.
part of the country.
It's like mountainous, but yet barren.
Barren,
yes.
Topographically interesting, but yet sparse.
Yes.
There's no human beings for hundreds of square miles. And then all of a sudden, there we are. Did you like all that?
I did. I think for where I was, in my life at that point in time, it worked really well for me. It was a small town, and I could walk from one end of town to the other. I could walk to work, and it was very country. It's almost like a Pennsylvania, but with more diesel trucks and cowboys.
Well, I was going to ask you that because you're a local person like me, a Valley girl. What was the whole vibe like? Were you shocked at first? You're like, oh my goodness, these people are all blank.
Very friendly there. Everyone is so friendly.
Uh-huh.
They'd stop you on the street. Hey, how you doing?
Is that
I'm like,
right?
Oh, hi. How are you?
Yeah.
And they're very active there. Obviously, living in that area, you're hiking, you're biking, you're skiing, you're
Okay.
snowshoeing. The 80-year-olds were in better shape than me.
Interesting, right?
Passing me, climbing a mountain. They were like just trekking it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I think the way of living there is different. That it's a healthier way of living than here.
I guess so.
It's just different.
But I guess there's not like industry there. So a lot of people, they're not swinging their lunch pail to go to the factory in Idaho.
A lot of
It's like,
farms,
a
a lot of
cattle and
ranches.
ranches.
Yes.
Wealthy, poor, in between?
Very wealthy.
Very wealthy.
Really?
Very wealthy area.
Interesting.
Well, Sun Valley is a ski resort area, so you have, multi-million-dollar homes, and there is a housing
Sun
crisis.
Valley.
Look at
Okay.
See,
So my siblings are going to a wedding there, and they've been in July, and they've been complaining about how hard it is to get there because you can't fly in, so you have to fly into Boise or somewhere else and then drive.
They have an airport there, but the cost of tickets
Right.
to fly
Oh,
into
God,
there,
yeah.
because everyone has their private jets there.
Yeah.
See, so it's a whole different world in
It's
a
a
way.
whole different world. Yeah, but it's just like plopped down, you just like mountains, and then you have this little town and then more mountains. So it's unique.
So a whole different experience.
Yes.
Did you eat any pierogies there? Does anyone even know
Do
what a
they-
pierogi
yeah, do they
is?
know
I
what
don't
they
know.
are?
There's a lot of potatoes there.
A lot of
so
potatoes.
I-
Obviously
meat and
potatoes.
potato, right?
I didn't eat one pierogi while I was out
Isn't
in
that
Idaho.
something?
Well, welcome
Potato
home,
capital of the
Carrie.
world.
Welcome
It's like
home.
pierogies.
Yeah.
Is the potato thing real, or is that just like a
No, it's
cultural myth?
real.
It's real.
It's
That's
real.
where all the
The
potatoes come
license
from.
plates, the Idaho license plate says world's famous potatoes.
Mhm.
And they dropped the spud on New Year's Eve, no?
I didn't see that, but
I think somewhere there does.
yeah,
I don't think I'm making that up.
Not in Sun Valley, but somewhere in
Yeah.
Idaho, I'm sure they do.
It's a big
that.
state.
Now, how many pierogies have you had since you've been back?
Maybe a couple.
Couple does.
And that's the most important thing. Now you're back. You had a
Yes.
great experience out west and everything, but is it
Yes.
nice to be home?
It is. I mean, this is my home. My family's here. My friends are here. And just being back in this building brings back a lot of wonderful memories for me. So being out there is just I was all alone. I was isolated out there. So after a while, talking to myself all the time in my apartment just gets old quickly.
Yes.
So yeah.
And as this podcast airs on Monday, this is your first day back to work. Not now, but when people hear this.
Yes.
Back to work as producer at WNEP.
Right.
Part-time, maybe full-time, maybe other things. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
what's
See,
out
see
there?
where things take you.
Yeah,
now
I'm
you're
going to
back.
see where things take me. Whatever's meant to be, and flourish.
I want the taste girl back. I want
We
the
haven't had taste
I want the
tests
pet stuff back. I
forever.
want it all back.
Well, I have to talk to the big boss.
Yeah. Joe's
I
just
can't
gonna make
call
the
it a
decisions
shot.
for
I'm
you.
like, Joe, you're putting her on a spot.
It might be time to ring the bell.
The
Yeah.
bell,
I'm not
making that-
uncomfortable. I just don't want to.
She just doesn't know where things are going.
I don't.
Right. Oh, well, it's great to have you back. Is there, before we get to the questions, was there like 6 months in, a year in, you're like, I don't know.
I think when I first moved out there, I didn't have a place to live, so I was living in an Airbnb. So I think the first few
Wow.
months, I was like, where am I going to live? Because the housing crisis is just ridiculous. You can't find a place to stay, and
Right.
the places they do have available are $2,000 for a studio.
Huh.
So it's like I'll live in my
Wow.
car, but then the winters hit, and then it's like, oh. So I was
Yeah.
house sitting and pet sitting for my coworkers until an apartment opened up through the shelter, which was affordable. They had affordable housing, and then that was that. But yeah, I think during the winter months are 9 months out of the year,
Yes.
and they're brutal. But they're really good with plowing the roads there. So
the
the roads are clear.
You're looking for something.
Yeah.
In December, do you remember what the sunset time is? Is it like I think it's closer to 4:15.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
early.
wow.
It was
Even
early.
four.
That's
Forest.
tough.
Because
Yeah.
I would work till 5 or 6 and it'd be dark.
Totally dark by then.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Then
Yeah.
all the wildlife comes out, the moose, the elk, the mountain lions.
And
so-
just cold, clear days and
Yeah.
cold, clear nights.
the only nice thing, no humidity. So
No humidity, right?
I never had to worry about sweating through a shirt.
I just taught him like 6 months ago what humidity does to hair. He
Yes.
didn't understand
I don't
if
understand the
if
whole.
it makes it frizzy or if it doesn't. It
I
does the opposite.
I could curl my hair there and
Mhm.
it wouldn't move. It wouldn't.
John,
We don't understand. What's
I
Joe's
said
line?
that.
We don't understand
We
your
don't.
gender.
I'll never understand your gender.
Okay, that's
That's his.
fine.
That's his general
we like it
disclaimer.
that way.
You
We
don't
like it
have
that way.
to.
All right, should we pick
So-
a question?
So let's what we do here, Carrie. These are questions. They're random. They're bizarre. They could be about anything,
Okay.
and we answer them.
Okay.
All right. So Brown Bag Monday, you're our special guest. You get to pick first.
Go
Now,
first, Carrie.
There's crumpled balls in there, but there's also strips. Pick whichever one.
Oh,
See?
she
Got a
got a
fascination
strip.
with the strips.
Yep.
Oh, come on. Really?
The reaction.
You could just throw it back in there and hit
it's-
that if
it's
you
fine.
want.
The question: would you ever put eyelashes on your car headlights for a free car? You can never take them off.
Wait, so
No.
Oh,
if
wait
we
for a free car.
so if we put the
Oh, for free
eyelashes
car.
on, we get the car for free.
Now, as a
But you can never take them off.
You can never.
so you get a
take them
free
off.
car. You've seen these people with the eyelashes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I can take the free
No.
car.
I
No,
might have to
I
take the
can't.
free car. I need.
I don't think I can do it.
I can't do it.
Right now, I'm
I think
driving a piece of crap right now, and it's tough. So
So eyelash car. But
I
you can
might
never
take the
have another-
eyelashes. I don't know. I'm picturing myself as like a grandma driving around with these eyelashes on my car, going to pick up my grandkids from school,
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, here comes crazy grandma." Mm.
I have a car with 215,000 miles on it, and I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do the
I
one
think
with
I
eyelashes.
hate, it would be harder for a guy.
Yeah.
You could pull it off, Carrie. You have
But
that
she's not
way
gonna do
about
it.
yourself.
No.
You're like a free thinker. You're like a spirit of the
She's
world.
not an eyelash
not
on
an
the
eyelash.
car.
I'm
So
not
kind of
an
what,
girl.
eyelash.
what does that say to you? An eyelash car person.
Maybe they're really into their appearance.
So I don't know what it
I just
says.
think it says
We don't know what it
I
says,
It
but
says what?
wacky,
I
but
they
not
want-
like a good wacky.
I-
No.
Well, what about the deer antler Christmas people? Is that okay? Would you do that? Is that a
No, that's a
That's
little
bad too?
tacky.
because we know
it's tacky,
someone-
but it's only for a month.
yeah.
Yeah, it's only
If
That's
that
just-
was a free
it's
car for
right.
just putting them up for Christmas,
Yeah,
I'm in.
Yeah, that's
I'm
just
in.
that's just
We
fast.
I'll
We know
even put that
someone-
Rudolph nose on the
Yeah.
front.
The Rudolph nose.
If it's a free
okay.
car, I'll do it, but not the eyelashes.
No.
Did you know Mindy's the antler person?
I
you guys
do,
know
yes.
that. Okay, yeah,
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah. So she puts the
She-
antlers over you.
She's just so festive and happy.
Something
Yes.
about her, yeah. Well,
That was a
Whatever
good
that
first one,
is.
Carrie.
Right?
so
Nice.
Carrie, your answer is definitely no. Free car.
No.
It could be any car you want, and it's gonna be free. You just put the eyelashes on.
No, I'm good. I don't mind a car payment. I can handle it.
Are you definitely no, Joe?
I'm definitely no. I
Yeah,
wouldn't even
okay.
consider that.
And Elizabeth, she's
As a-
like,
I'm
it's a free
thinking about
car.
it, but I'll probably say no.
I hate to say it, but the way I grew up and the friends I have, even if I chose yes, they beat me up.
You get beat up.
So there'd be no,
No, can't do
car
it.
to have because I'd be dead.
All right, Elizabeth, you're next.
Now, why do you always go for the big?
I
numbers?
don't always. I just reach my hands in whatever comes in. He has a fascination with the strips.
No, I don't.
Ooh.
Juicy? Is it juicy?
Yeah. Eric from the Skook. Why are the commercials so much louder than the actual newscast? Typical media trying to push advertisers down our throats. P.S. I'll miss the great Mr. Curiosity interviews. Well, we're happening. Oh, you mean like
This
the
is
one-on-one
Oh, the
interviews?
actual
Mr.
interviews.
Curious. We
No,
just
but the
interviewed
one-on-ones,
Carrie.
yeah.
We just interviewed Carrie. So we're going to go back to those two.
It's a good
perhaps.
question. I don't know.
All right. So Sean may have the answer. He's working behind the scenes here.
I know they're not supposed to be loud.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
think
supposed
I
to be
actually
louder,
think there
yeah.
was a law
Yeah.
that was passed
I
that
think
said
so.
they couldn't be.
It does feel like they are loud.
It does, and part of it, I wonder if it's just the way they're produced. They do it in a way that comes across so crisp and
Maybe.
that it may come across as louder. They're not supposed to be, and I know here at the station, we're not doing anything to make them louder.
Yeah, no. We don't have any control
No.
over that.
Well,
If we did, we wouldn't run the same commercials all the time.
what's funny is that we on TV, we don't hear the commercials.
Yeah.
We see them,
Oh,
but
yeah,
in
yeah.
our earpieces, it doesn't
silent.
include the sound of the commercials. And we love our advertisers because they're paying the bills.
That's right.
But it's kind of nice that we don't have to hear them every day.
See, when I'm out in the field, I do hear the commercials.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So you know the Jardian song really well.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I sing along to it all every morning.
If it is purposeful, not by us, but in the past, I think it was, it's genius in a way because you could be, I remember like half passed out watching TV and then the show's off and a commercial comes on and you perk up.
Yeah.
Right. I remember doing that as a teenager and in my 20s, like, whoa, but it seems less common these days.
So do
Now-
you think it was pushing?
I think it
kind of
used to be.
pushing
Yeah.
down
I
your
think,
throat?
it
Yeah.
used to be, but I don't know if you guys know this. This is a revelation. 2 weeks ago, that's why this is very relative. I was going through my settings on my TV. I think it's a Roku. And did you ever see one of the sound settings? It says leveler. And I tried it. It levels everything. Commercials, any show. So it raises
That would
the
be great.
Yeah. Check your TVs, everybody.
Okay.
Because I do have that problem when I'm watching like Netflix
Some
or
shows are
something.
high, some
I
shows are low.
boost the volume because a lot of shows that are produced nowadays are really quiet. That's why I watch them with subtitles.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden I hear the commercials and I'm like, oh my God,
Yes. But you know, you can choose like theater, rock.
interesting.
There's one in there. It was leveler.
I'm
And
gonna
it
try
keeps
that.
everything at the same level. So try
Here's-
that.
Elizabeth
Mr.
brings something up,
Eric.
and I've got to
Eric.
ask Carrie. Carrie, do you watch like Netflix stuff with subtitles?
No.
Oh, you're getting back to that discussion.
Hot debate. Hot
She said it, but isn't it interesting that what did we find the poll, Elizabeth? Wasn't it like 80% of millennials and Gen Y use subtitles?
Yeah,
it's
like younger millennials and Gen Z.
Yes,
use them.
Gen Z, yeah. But then Gen X and Boomers and stuff, not at all.
Carrie's too old.
Whatever.
All right, I'm picking up.
Check out that leveler. Keep everything
All right,
the same.
the leveler.
I like it.
Cancel out the commercials.
Can we get a leveler on the morning show?
Yeah, right.
I don't even know what that means. All right. Who does the announcement for WNEP Proud to Serve voice before each broadcast? He has the best voice, and we'd like to see a face to that voice.
He does have the best voice. You can look him up.
Isn't that funny, though? That's a voice that everyone hears all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is Newswatch 16 this morning, and in all of our promos, our ads. But he doesn't have a name. He doesn't have a name. But as far as the viewers are,
is he the same guy that introduces? Like he's the opener too?
Yeah,
he's the open.
Yeah, because this guy sits in his office somewhere not connected to WNEP. We hire him as a voice guy, and he does it for a lot of stations. So I hate to say this. So you might be in Idaho and you'll hear the same voice for some TV station.
Because he's a classic.
Yeah.
I've always kind of found that fascinating, though, with voiceover stuff, that there's just this guy with a closet that's probably a sound studio. And
well, I think he has more than a closet.
Probably making good money.
Probably making good money, yeah.
Carrie, how can we get that job?
Yeah.
So I was giving, you know how we Mr. Creepy podcast, not Mr. Creepy, but the Creepy Side.
Creepy Side of Neva.
Mr. Creepy.
Do you want to give our voice person a shout out?
Well,
do you know the name?
What's his name?
This is Sean in the background.
His name is Bo Weaver.
Bo Weaver.
He has a name.
Bo Weaver.
Love you, Bo.
But here's why I mentioned Mr. Creepy. The creepy
It's Creepy Side of Neva.
I know. I'm just trying to be a little weird here.
Mr. Creepy has another whole
He
conversation.
emailed Bo and said, would you like to be a guest on Joe's Mr. Curiosity podcast?
Oh.
And he wants to be a guest on this
He
podcast.
Wait, is
should.
this him?
So that's
Oh
him
my
right there,
gosh.
lower left.
Is he what you would picture?
Kind of.
He looks like a lion. I love it.
Not what I would
Looks like
picture
all
at
the
all.
men in Idaho.
He looks like all
For
the
those
men
of you at home, long hair, we
Long
have that
hair.
are just listening.
Yeah, so he might be
Rustic
a future
looking.
guest with us here. We'll see.
That would
That
be
would be
nice.
fantastic.
Through the miracle of the internet.
Well,
But,
yesterday Joe had to not take his job, but take the job of the music because we didn't have any music for our open. So Joe did a cappella.
He did, Carrie. This is how we started the news yesterday morning.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth,
You
you're-
remember the joys of the morning show.
Yes.
We need you back. You remember you're a Philly girl.
Uh-huh.
I start watching now Philly News 6.
They have the same music as
And
us.
they have the same music. as
Yeah.
us.
So
It's
when I
weird.
got
I've
here,
heard-
it was the music I grew up with. So it was like I was right at home.
yeah, it's a dun 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 dun.
What I love at Channel 6, though, is that they also still use what WNEP, I guess, used to have. There's lyrics
Yeah,
to the
move
news.
closer to your
Move
world.
closer to your world,
Oh,
my
my
friend.
friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has
It's a
words.
great song.
So the moral of the story is a lot of this stuff, the people you hear, a lot of the people you hear, the announcers, the music, it's it's semi-universal. You'll hear it all across the country because TV stations hire these people.
That was
So
a good
Cheryl
question.
from Jersey Shore, look up Bo Weaver.
Yeah,
Oh,
good question.
Weaver. It's a great name. All right, my turn.
Your turn.
Dig deep. I hope this is a personal, invasive question about Carrie,
Mm.
like the eyelashes.
Oh, great
Did
question.
we have this one last year?
No.
Carrie, this is for you since you're a special guest. Would you live on nothing but hamburgers and French fries? And there's no negative health effects or weight gains for the rest of your life. Could you do it? Live on just hamburgers and French fries. You're never going to have a heart attack. You're not going to gain weight. Would you be able to do that?
Well, I did it out west, so I can do it here. It's fine. Yeah.
To me, I that's one of my favorite meals right there. French
I
fries
would.
and
You would get
hamburgers.
sick of it though.
I don't know.
There's only one thing I would never get sick of, and it's pizza.
You could get sick of this, but if I were to pick a combination of
Hamburgers
foods
and
that I
fries.
had to eat, that would definitely be one of them.
Because
Really?
you get protein and carbs, and then you
Mhm.
get
And I
But
just love
remember,
it.
you don't need anything. This is a hypothetical. They're saying you're going to be
understand that.
healthy and there's no side effects.
Some
negative
people
or-
just like meat, you know.
yeah.
That is like if you get 3 wishes, that would be my number one wish. Eat whatever you want with no negative effects.
my-
Oh, yeah.
I'd be
Oh,
going to
that'd be great.
Five
Dream.
Guys burger and fries every day.
Yes.
I'd be
Dream.
there. Yeah, I'd be there.
But
I
it,
mean,
re-
because
That's the American dream.
it really doesn't work that way.
Also,
though, does
no,
it?
some people do that even knowing there's
Yeah.
consequences.
True,
Okay,
true.
So it's an option. It's an option. And Carrie, you're saying you would do that.
Well, I did it.
You see how
That's what you
we're-
lived on?
You didn't live on French fries every day and hamburgers.
Well, Idaho is famous for their potatoes, so you had to eat a lot of fries. I ate a lot of fries.
You see how we're learning so much about her through Brown Bag? You wouldn't do the eyelash thing. You love hamburgers and French fries. I mean, we're going in so many directions.
And we learned a lot about Idaho.
And we learned a lot about Idaho. All right, what's next? It's
Carrie,
your turn. She's
your
coming
turn.
full circle.
Oh, man.
I like the new glasses, by the way, the new frame.
Yeah, they're very
Nice.
cool.
They got the purple up top. They got a little yellowy tint.
As I get closer to your age, I need new glasses. Oh, this is a good one,
Oh,
Joe.
boy.
Okay.
This is for you, Joe.
Give it to me.
It seems Joe is always flirting with Mindy. Is there something going on there? Also, she seems to like it in a weird way.
You know what?
Weird
In a
way.
weird way.
Now she's happy she's getting a root canal.
I've had that. I've had people say that to me, and of course, what is it, John? You work with me. Just because two people communicate and laugh and joke doesn't mean that
It
flirting.
is funny though how it's part of society that if a guy
Yeah.
is joking around with a woman, some people's minds are going to go there.
Yeah.
The funny thing is just this morning I read a comment that we got on a Facebook post to Joe, and it was about how the dynamic of the morning show, and said Joe's like the crazy younger brother, Mindy's the older sister who I can't remember how it said it, but you know,
Right.
like goes
And then-
along with
Yeah.
everything.
What did they say about you, though? Go ahead.
What was I unflappable?
You're
Who's
stoic guy,
not
yeah,
annoyed
yeah.
or something? But anyways, their relationship's more brother and sister.
Yeah.
Totally that, you know,
That's
because
so
he's pushing her buttons. But what I hear from people everywhere is that one of the things they love about our show the most is how Mindy doesn't take it. Like she pushes back.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
She's the perfect person to. You're able to needle her, and then she'll go along with it. Or if she doesn't want to go on with it, she throws it right back at you.
Yeah.
And I've had news directors, managers, and bosses in the past. I've gotten into trouble. They said, "Stop picking on Mindy," because people are complaining. I'm like,
But
No,
she
they're-
doesn't care.
yeah, no. I said two things. No, they're not complaining. Maybe one person, then they say people are complaining. And number two, she doesn't care.
She is unoffendable
She
in the
loves
best way.
this. This is what people do when they're friends. You have a little fun with each other. You
Yeah,
pick
she's-
on each other. She doesn't care.
Yeah, no.
So a story from just this
She's not
morning.
offended.
Mindy is having a root canal right now. So Joe finds out about it at 4:38.
Yeah.
We hear running down the hall. He comes running in the studio. Can I talk about the root canal on TV? And then he's like, you can. And then he runs to the
As if she would
backyard.
ever say no.
And then out of breath, when he gets to the backyard, he
Yeah.
said, I just had to run in and ask Mindy if I could
That's
talk
so
about it.
funny.
And she was like, sure.
Yeah, because
And it became fun TV. And that's the kind of good sport she is.
yeah, so this isn't flirting.
No.
I'm a happily married man of 30 plus years. And I'm smart enough to know this. Mindy's too good for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you might be
Yeah.
right.
To take that. I'm too old for her anyway. So nice question, but no flirting, just fun. When I pick on you, John, is that flirting?
No.
Why don't people see
Maybe
it
it
that way?
is.
Why don't people see it that way?
Good question.
Yeah.
Society.
Society and their ways.
Oh, we already had this one.
This thing is old and crumbling. You can see it's almost like tissue paper.
We already
You can
had
blow
it.
your
It's
nose with that
old.
when it's so
I'm-
old.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me wait, just so you know.
Will Joe Snedeker ever get past this strange,
Strange,
disturbing
disturbing
Dick Yingling
Yingling
obsession?
obsession.
The answer is
we
no,
talked about that.
never.
No.
I thought that was the one maybe that we got cut off last week.
Oh, did it?
I don't have an obsession. I just think
Oh,
he's
this
a
is
great
a nice. Oh, this is too nice.
guy. Wait,
Oh,
now
wait,
remember.
compliments aren't allowed. Are they?
Compliments aren't allowed.
No.
Okay.
Compliments, bird questions, or
Should she
French
read
words.
it?
Yeah, I give it.
You
to
got
her.
it now.
Joe keeps saying he's an old man.
He's
When is he going to
uncomfortable.
retire? Hopefully not for a long time. I'll greatly miss him when he hangs up his hygrometer.
Oh yeah.
He actually teaches the weather along with making it fun, sometimes silly and
Aw.
goofy, but never boring and dry.
Thank you,
Bruce,
Bruce Young. I love you.
But no compliments allowed.
no compliments allowed.
You know, I'm 57. Do I look older than my age? I don't know.
No,
People are saying
no.
all the time, when are you going to retire already? Is 65 is
Because
retirement
you
age.
bring up that you're.
Is that why it's? You think
Yeah,
it's
you
coming up
talk
a lot?
about it.
Maybe.
You like joke.
Yeah, but I mean,
You joke about yourself being old.
Okay, well maybe that's why. But no, 57 is too young to retire.
It is.
I think so.
Yeah,
What am
you're
I
not
gonna
going
do?
anywhere.
My wife works at home,
Mhm.
does accounting. If I retire,
Mm.
Carrie, did you learn anything in Idaho? I mean, you can't stick either. I'm alone all day and she's out to work, or she's home working and I'm with her retired. Do you see that being trouble?
Yeah.
Yes. You'll be living on your bike. You'll be living in the mountains somewhere.
So
Poor
true,
Dawn.
Carrie.
Yeah,
Poor before dawn.
The only thing worse than working is not working. There's the moral of the story right here.
All right, my turn.
John. I could see John retiring because this guy lives a high society lifestyle. He has a place on the Allegheny Plateau. He has
High society.
Yeah, he has
Elk County. Carrie's been to Elk
He
County.
has a-
Elk
Does
Does
County.
He
that
has a
reek of
boat.
high society when you're out there?
He has a boat. He has a place on the lake.
25-year-old boat, car with 215,000 miles.
Right?
Anyways, all right. Do you have a choice about working various events? Example, parades, fairs, church picnics, or other social events. Mindy and John seem to work the St. Joseph Festival every year when Joe rides for St. Joe's. Is that a choice or an assignment?
Great question.
That is a good question.
Combo?
How did you get into the St. Joe's telethon?
The St.
Did you-
Joe's, I think
Festival.
it had been Mindy and Don Jacobs and Marisa,
Mhm.
Marisa Burke for a long time. She was leaving and they asked me if I was interested and I said I am. So I would think that it's more choice,
Mhm.
the different events we go to.
Yeah,
I
sometimes
wouldn't have to do the telethon.
Sometimes hybridish. We're pushed by management. What were those choices again?
The parades,
parades,
fairs,
okay,
church
parades.
picnics.
We used to be forced to go to the parade. If you
Oh,
go back
really?
10, 15
Really?
years ago.
To go or to cover it?
No, to go,
Oh, really?
to participate
Yeah,
in it.
participating is totally
Because I'm
optional
not
now.
a parade guy. And I
Yeah.
used to hate going to parades.
Now
Nothing
it's
against parades. I just
optional.
have a short attention span.
Yeah.
And I just want to leave as soon as I'm there. But so some things are management suggested.
Yeah. Now I would say everything is pretty much voluntary and
Vol-
optional.
Yeah.
I think
But
it's understood that it's part of the job that
Yeah.
we're going to do public appearances and things like that. But most of we get requests from different organizations, and then if we can do it, we do it.
If you're a team,
Something like St. Joseph Center, the telethon, that's such a high profile event. Normally, it's station management asking if we'll do it.
Right.
Yeah,
And
we
of
gotta-
course, that's something I want to be involved
you
in.
want to give back to the community.
Yeah.
They usually don't have to force anybody because someone always wants to do it.
So, yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of give back people here at WNEP. They really are. And I love giving back. You guys love giving back. You show up at parades and festivals and telethons. We all do that.
Did you
So
sense,
it's a little
Carrie, in
hybrid.
Idaho, like the community we're in, were there all these community events like back here?
No, there's no community.
They had a huge 4th of July parade. Everyone comes out, and it's the biggest parade they have. They also have a herding of the sheep festival.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
Oh, let me tell you,
Whoa.
you haven't lived until you've seen thousands of sheep being herded.
Describe this.
Describe it. I have video of it. I can show you.
But
There are a lot of like the farmers will herd their sheep, and they will walk them basically from Ketchum, which was about 20 miles from where I lived, through Haley, Idaho,
okay.
and then up into the pasture, and then
so
to
the
farm.
sheep just
They would herd them, so they'd
taking
have,
over the streets?
yes, thousands of sheep.
That sounds awesome.
Now, if you thought that was crazy, I mean, think of all the sheep poop
Oh,
Mm.
on the road, because it's
True.
just they're like patties. It's
So,
gross.
Oh.
so the stereotype you're thinking like a sheep, you're the follower. Do sheep behave that way? They just follow each
Well,
other?
they have the herding dogs. So they have herding dogs,
All right.
and they have so the sheep are kind of in line. So
Right.
if they get out of line, the dog will kind of get them because they're like in a big
Gotcha.
like herd.
Right.
And there was a time when I was going to work in the morning, and I got stuck behind them.
Oh no.
you got stuck in sheep traffic.
Yeah.
And I can't use that excuse here.
No.
I could use it there because they
Yeah,
would
that's a
walk by
real
the
excuse.
shelter.
Sorry, I'm late for work.
I'm like,
got stuck behind the sheep.
I'm stuck behind. I'm
That's
stuck
funny.
behind a herd of sheep, and they're like, "Okay, we'll see you when you get here." Here, be like, "Oh, come on, really?" Like,
Well, we have the rattlesnake roundup that I
Yeah.
covered
Yeah.
yesterday. That's similar-ish, but you can't use that as an excuse.
no.
You know,
no.
Carrie, I think there's almost a fascination with that whole part of the West with this show Yellowstone.
Yes.
Have you guys watched Yellowstone
I
at all?
haven't, but I've been
So
meaning
it's a
to.
show set out in Montana, but it's this whole new fascination with the cowboy lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. Did you kind of sense that people are into that now?
Yes.
when you were out
yes.
there?
and you just being out there and going out to a bar or a restaurant, and you have the guys will wear the cowboy hats out, and you're like, And they would joke, like the real cowboys were like, he's a fake cowboy.
You can see
his
the
boots,
fake cowboy.
his boots aren't even worn in.
Yeah,
You know, I have my own ranch, and and they're smoking Marlboro Reds and drinking
funny.
Budweiser.
They
or
saw
whatever.
through it.
But you can see through us. We're like, is that a real cowboy? Is that like a faux cowboy? So it was just funny to meet the real cowboys because they're gentlemen. I mean, most of them, the ones that I met, are like, howdy, how you doing, miss?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so you get that.
I never thought about that though. You're right. If it's trendy for some people to just dress like a cowboy, it's immediately like stupid.
He says with the cowboy hat on.
I had a friend of mine in college was from Texas.
Yeah, but you don't want to fake
and he was
cowboy.
from outside of the Dallas area, but an area that had ranches and stuff like that. And he said in high school there were the cowboys, but then they called the others the ropers. And ropers were the guys that wanted to just dress like a cowboy. And it was so phony that it was like, you know how high schools would have the jocks and stuff like that. There they had the ropers.
That's so
the wannabe
funny.
cowboys.
Love it.
So it's funny when I would go out and then I would start looking at their boots to see if they were.
You can see if it was real.
He's fake. He's a fake cowboy. He doesn't have
Not
a ranch.
interested.
So if I show up at some bar in
In
Idaho with this hat on, what's gonna happen? I show up like this. I'm gonna get beat up.
What do you get? What do you
I
get?
mean, a
Punched?
costume.
I didn't want to get punched. They would just laugh.
What if I have it down like this? Then all of a sudden it's pretty cool.
No.
Sure.
Then
Now you look like you're going to a
Then
tea
you need
party.
a tea party
With the
or
Queen
you need
Elizabeth
a
or
walking
something.
stick or something.
Growing up in Shamokin, you didn't have to sort out the guys based on their cowboy
No.
boots.
No.
I don't think I ever saw cowboy boots.
Not in Shamokin.
So
No.
back to the sheep though. When they have the sheep roundup party, what happens? They all gather and that's the whole day.
So in October,
What's the purpose of it? Just to parade the sheep
It's
around?
just the festival of the
Okay.
sheep. I mean, it's a Western type of thing. I
I
mean,
did not know
make,
that.
They make blankets. They have all kind of, they eat all kind of sheep meat.
You know, when you hear these stories, though, like in talking to you about Idaho and stuff, you do realize about how the vast majority of people know nothing about the United States. Like
There's so much
the rest
diversity
of the
from place to
country.
place, too.
You see, the different shows we see on TV represent some areas, but so many places.
They're like different countries.
They're like a whole nother world. And I often thought that about even, growing up in a small town in Pennsylvania, it's different than what a lot of the rest of the country's like. And people just don't get exposed to that. You go into the deep South, it's a whole nother world compared to what we have here. Idaho's different. Texas is different.
Yeah. And imagine people pre-internet, pre-TV, even pre-radio. You go back to the 1800s. No one knew how anyone else lived. There's no information.
No.
All different societies and alterations. All right. Last question is going to Carrie, but we can't end on a bad note. It's got to be a good question. So this could be a series of questions until we find an ender. It's got to feel like a closer. It's got to feel like a closer.
Oh, it's a strip.
It's
Joe.
a strip. Is it gonna feel like a closer?
Oh, she's
No, it's dumb. Is the Dollar General really
That's a good question.
What was it, Joe? What was
the Dollar General really that good?
Wait, what kind of question is that?
That could be a good one.
This is a fun one.
This is a good answer.
No, she got a better
I'm
one.
putting it back in. I love the Dollar General.
I do too.
All right,
It's that good, John.
It is great. And they're everywhere.
So this tops the eyelashes question.
All right.
Would you run naked through downtown Scranton for 3 minutes with a mask on for $5,000, knowing you would not get caught?
Yes.
Whoa. So there's a mask on. No one's gonna know it's you.
Yes.
You're not gonna get caught. You're naked. $3,000.
$5,000.
$5,000.
Yes.
Elizabeth's in.
I'm in.
You'll sense a common theme here. Like anything for like car, more money. Like this is spoken like a true 20-something.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I may need
I don't think
an
I
adult
could do it.
beverage.
You're right in. Though.
And let's be real, even if I had a mask on at 6'7", someone would recognize me.
okay, yeah,
But here's the thing. I think this is different because you're settled in your life. I need money for rent.
Oh, I
and
see.
Stuff.
So
like,
you're saying it's more.
you have your kids. They're out of college.
Gotcha.
Like, I mean, your kids are still young, so you
Yeah,
$5,000
I could use the
probably-
money.
It probably sounds nice,
But I don't think I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
3 minutes. You're not getting caught. Mask on.
It
Carrie's
doesn't
in.
specify what time. You could do it in the dead of night.
Yeah, you can do it at 3 in the morning if you
Sean,
wanted
are you
to.
in?
I'd do it for 10 minutes, no mask for $20.
Sean's doing it for $20 without a mask. We just learned a lot about Sean.
I think I have $20 in my wallet, Sean.
I think that was a good ending.
That's a good ending.
Yeah, there you go.
Carrie, you'll do this. We're going to be there watching with cameras.
Oh, so now it's real.
Look at her eyes, Bo.
Only if I could wear the cowboy hat.
Oh, she wants the cowboy hat for it.
I'm sure you already did that out west anyway. There's no one to see, and you just didn't get paid.
Look, no one knew
Running
me.
around.
No one knew
No
me
one
in
knew you.
Idaho.
You were halfway there.
I was a nobody. So what happens in Idaho?
Stays in Idaho.
All right, more good questions. It's all on you, people. So get your questions in. brownbag@WNEP.com for future episodes.
Invasive.
We invasive. We like the
Personal.
weird ones, invasive ones, and we
Yes.
welcome you back, Carrie.
Good to have you
Yeah.
back.
Thank you.
Good to have you
It's
back
good
at
to be back.
WNEP, and I hope to see you on TV, not just behind the scenes,
Talk to the big boss.
and
stay
maybe
out
even
of it.
naked in Scranton.
No.
Oh, boy.
All right, then.
That's
On
good
that
ending.
I might get fired for that.
Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.